in 4 days, the corn's broken ground, which is just amazing. Truly, that's amazing. Hey fans, it's Lee, old Florida gardener here with a weekly garden update. So, some changes. I got this parcel here cleared back out. We'll fix these berms again, get the boards put back in place. Hurricane Milton knocked them down and broke all the plumbing. So we're not going to reuse this plumbing because we're going with all drip tape and drip tube. So we're not going to worry about that. But we are going to get the borders secured back in place and get some more compost down and till that in. Same with this little garden spot. We dug out a ton of pigweed. We're digging it out this time. It's been an ongoing problem, but I think we might have that whooped. And this is a 1 week update on the vegetable garden we put in. So here is our brassicas and lettuce and spinach. Again, this row we have some Brussels sprouts. Oh, I'm sorry, that is this is cauliflower. And at the end, I got a few Brussels sprouts plants. I'm pretty sure it's too late for those, but I had them, so I put them in, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Now, this entire row is broccoli. This entire row is collard greens, and then this is some butter crunch lettuce and spinach. And actually, you know, for as late as it is, they still look really good. I think we're going to get some meals off of this before it actually gets too hot. And then I put some kale, some curly kale at the end. So that's just salad makings. As a side note, somebody asked me the other day when I was showing off my Haas high arch wheel hoe with the cultivator attachments, when's the best time to weed your garden? And my answer to that, the best time to weed your garden is before it needs it. Anyway, we have 2 rows of potatoes here, and they have not broken ground yet, but you can see some weeds are starting to pop up. These are little baby Caesar weed, which is a gosh darn nuisance. We struggle with that all over this property. But anyway, potatoes haven't broke ground yet. And these onions, I have green onions close to, these are Georgia sweet onions right here, and those are red sweet onions in that row. They haven't really grown any, but the foliage definitely looks a lot better than it did a week ago. The newish growth has lengthened a bit. You know, like these pieces here, this is lengthened a bit. These ones that are kind of burnt, they haven't really changed, but this new growth is getting longer. Now that's a brand new growth in the middle right there. This was just 2 when I put it in, 2 leaves. So that's the onions. And then I put a row of bush green beans right here. And I know, you know, we're not supposed to put green beans next to onions, but it was my last row. Let's see how the green beans are doing. If we find that drip tape, we'll find the green beans. Yep, so there's a green bean. It has sprouted. The seed case is open and it's sprouted, so we'll see some green above ground probably in the next couple days. And then super exciting, I just put this corn in on Wednesday and it has already broken ground. So from Wednesday to Sunday, this corn has popped up. It's really close together. Like I said, I had the wrong seed plate in that Haas seeder, so I just got clumps and clumps of corn that came out at the same time. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of thinning. But oh well, you live and learn, right? Again, there's more weeds popping up between the rows, but that's just so exciting. I got corn came up in 4 days. So we got 9 rows of corn, and that again, that's Providence. That's a Providence F1 hybrid, and I got that directly from Haas Tools. And then my last thing I put in this garden plot is squash. As you can see, off of our 3/4 main line, I added a piece of 1/2-inch distribution tubing, and then I tied into that 1/2 inch with a 1/4 inch line with these little piercers right here. And I have 2 hills. I know it's hard to see the hill in this video. So I got a hill here and a hill there. So I have 5 sets of 2 hills. And then on each hill, I have a 1/2 gallon per hour emitter. So 1/2 gallon emitter, 1/2 gallon per hour emitter on each hill. And I have 5 of those. I'm sorry, I have 10 hills. 5 sets of 2 hills. So that's it. And we got our fertilizer injection unit all up and running. We got a new fertilizer tank for the fertilizer injection system. We were using that 5-gallon one, but I found just the perfect reservoir for the fertilizer, a 15-gallon reservoir. And these were just food grade buckets. I think they had syrup in them, or I think that one had glycerin and this one had syrup in it, some orange flavored syrup. But anyway, they're food grade, so no worries about that. And we're using completely 100% organic liquid fertilizer to inject right into the irrigation stream. And this was just quite a lucky find. This reservoir, the hole on this side is the exact same size as this tubing. I actually had to kind of squeeze the tubing to get it in there, and it was the perfect length. It goes all the way to the bottom, and it's just sitting above the bottom about 3/4 of an inch. And it's got a nice big hole on this side so I can keep it filled. So super exciting. The injection system works really good. I've tested it and I used it last week to fertilize the crop. So super excited about that. To give you a rundown of it, this is the main water line coming in, and below that there's a check valve because we would never want fertilizer contaminating our water sources. This goes back to my well that feeds my house and everything. So the water line comes in. Now if I want to bypass the injection unit, I close this valve and I open that valve. That's how it's set up right now. And then the water would just come in and it would go straight through this timer and filter and pressure regulator and then go out to the crops. But if I want to inject fertilizer into the system, I close that valve, open this valve, and then the water goes straight up through here. It goes through a pre-filter, then it goes through the fertilizer pump, comes in through our battery operated valve and timer. It's battery operated timer and a valve, and I've got 4 zones that I can run off that same one with 4 different programs. Then it comes out of that and it goes into another filter, and then it goes through a pressure reducer because our drip system runs on 15 psi. We don't want to blow out any drip tape. So that's it. That's a fertilizer injection system, and it works super well. Now this unit is it's an Amazon product made by a company called Nutri, and it is based on the Dosatron unit, loosely based. I'm familiar with Dosatron. I know the owners and the inventors of the Dosatron unit, and it really is a marvelous system. And this is based on the same principle. It's just much more affordable. And before I went all out and spent the kind of money that a dosatron would run. It'd be about 4 times as expensive as this one. But believe me, you know, in my opinion, you'll buy once, cry once. I wanted to see if this type of fertilizer injection setup was going to work well for me before I spent that kind of money. But this is a good, at this price point, it's a good unit to try out, you know, for a trial. It's got a completely adjustable feed on it. It can go from 1 gallon, you can adjust it. You can adjust it so that for every 100 gallons that goes through the injector, for every 100 gallons, it takes 1 gallon of fertilizer, and that's at its lowest setting. And then at its highest setting, for every 100 gallons of water, it'll take 10 gallons of fertilizer. So it can go from 1% to 10%. And I think that's about the range that I need for this kind of setup. But if I go to adding any, you know, micronutrients or to flush the system, I think I'm probably going to want a system that can be turned down lower than this one. But for now, this is working great. It's working perfect. I've tested it a couple times and it works awesome. So anyway, that's it. It's February 16th, about 5:30, and I hope all your gardens are taking off as well as mine. I can't believe I got corn up in 4 days. I've never had that happen. I've never seen corn outgrow green beans. I put these green beans in last Sunday, 7 days ago, and it's just about to break ground. But I put the corn in the ground on Wednesday. So in 4 days, the corn's broken ground, which is just amazing. That's amazing. I'm suspecting that this new garden plot has some amazing, healthy, productive soil. Maybe my organic fertilizer unit, I did run a batch of the organic liquid fertilizer through there, so maybe that had something to do with it too. But anyway, I'm suspecting that the pH is not going to be a problem. I never did test the soil to check the pH, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. So that's really exciting. And thanks for following along, and happy gardening, everybody.